threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Oh, man.
Everybody's on their way.
Yeah.
Eat some turkey.
Yeah, you guys are probably all driving.
Yeah.
On the road, seeing what's happening.
Maybe pick up some skills from a podcast.
Yeah.
Share it with some friends.
Yeah, I'm actually...
Listen to it over turkey dinner.
That's right. Yeah, you should. Break this stuff out at the dinner table and be like, after we say grace, this is what's happening. We're going to listen.
We're going to eat and listen. Learn. Maybe.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
That would be.
And first off, let me apologize for my sexy voice.
It sounds great.
I know, man. I was like, if my voice sounded like this all the time, I'd have a lot more authority everywhere I went, I think. Do you know what I mean? People would listen.
Oh, he's got something to say.
Oh, this dude's got something to say. Let's listen to what he's got.
Yeah.
But today, I'm actually really, really excited about the episode today because we were actually thinking, like, have we ever, like, sat down and defined and actually told you guys what is casual prepping, right?
I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
Maybe we did, but who cares? We're going to hear it again.
Who cares? We're going to do it again, right? So we're just going to talk about what is a casual prepper.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, because we kind of made it up a little bit. Right? Like,
well, we've 100% made it up.
Yeah. I mean, things like it existed before, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is, yeah.
I still joke about, like, because I remember when we were coming up with names, it auto-corrected to casual peeper.
Peeper, yeah, that was.
I'd look at that too.
Yeah, we were like,
Just
oh,
casually peeping.
just casually taking a gander, whatever it is. Yeah. But when you're taking a gander at something, take a gander at BattleBox, you guys. It is the monthly subscription box full of solid gear for adventure seekers, survivalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and casual preppers. Each month, BattleBox sends you the coolest selection of handpicked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here's a sampling of what users received this month. The Outdoor Element Fire Flute. Yeah, you know what I mean? The
Yep.
Condor El Salvador blade straight from the hills of Tennessee.
That's a big freaking blade.
Yeah, man, it is.
I was showing it off
Were you?
to my brother the other day.
Oh, nice.
Look at his blade.
Look at my blade.
You
From
ain't never
El
gonna be able
Salvador.
to wield this.
All this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped over 1 million boxes and won Best Men's Subscription Box of 2020. Our listeners get a free knife when you sign up at trybattlebox.com/casual preppers. Get your first BattleBox plus a free knife at
Listener
trybattlebox.com/casual preppers.
reviews start
We have this
now.
backwards
day long.
again. We have this backwards again. It's
Oh,
funny.
we do. This is a listener review.
Yeah, listener review.
Okay, we'll do it.
I gotta
We're
fix
we're
that.
good. We're all right.
I gotta fix it.
Hilarious.
Oh man.
Come for the sustainable knowledge. Stay for the banter. Cam and Kobe serve up the laughs with rabbit hole scenarios and accents.
Yes, sir.
Dougie Fresh 425.
Dougie Fresh. Yeah, Apple Podcast. If you guys want to be a part of this portion of the podcast, go to iTunes, go to Facebook, leave us a 5-star review. Make it awesome.
It's a mad, mad world.
Now, anytime I see the phrase "gay furry hackers," I gotta read. I
was wondering what that was all about.
I gotta read the article, and it kind of goes along with Mad Mad World. But this article, this happened today. Self-proclaimed gay furry hackers breach nuclear lab. They're like, yeah, they're hackers, they're gay, they're furry, and then they hack crazy stuff. The Nuclear Research Hub Idaho National Laboratory confirmed that it fell victim to a data breach on Tuesday. A group of self-proclaimed gay furry hackers took responsibility for the attack and claimed they accessed sensitive employee data like social security numbers.
We got your data.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Rub my back. Home addresses and more. They said, we're willing to make a deal with the INL if they research creating IRL cat girls. We will take down this post. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
In real life, cat girls, I guess is what's supposed to mean.
Some stuff going on.
Anyways, they've done a bunch of different stuff in the past where they attacked NATO and leaking internal documents and all that kind of crap.
The furry.
The world is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, so they
At
are.
least they're talented.
Yeah, at least they're
some weird
using.
way.
Yeah, they're just not making their hair purple for no reason. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
doing that.
That is an interesting title.
Plus they're
though.
hackers, yeah.
Like, Okay.
Yay, bitches, we're here, gay furry hackers. And it's probably what like the video that they send when,
know, like,
when,
dang
you, when you open up your network or something, you know.
In
Anyways.
all places of the world, Idaho. They're like, what? Oh, I got to turn this off.
The Lord's coming again. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, say you're in a store. This story makes you laugh.
Okay.
Just browsing around, and a lot of times you see that Halloween stuff. You're like, it's just a skull.
I love
that
the
one
Halloween
looks
stuff.
pretty real.
Yeah.
Well, if you're an anthropologist, you can, maybe spot out a real skull.
Oh, man.
And that's what happened.
They're like,
So-
this is like super real.
Yeah. So in just a regular store in Florida, a man was kind of
course.
just browsing around in the Halloween section, and he's like, "This skull looks awfully real." Come to find out, it was a real human skull.
Like in a Target or something?
No, I think it was just like a shop or something.
Oh, okay. Like a
You buy
local.
shells over there,
Yeah.
human bones over here.
Yeah, that's on the other shelf.
This is welcome to Florida.
Welcome to Florida. Watch out for the gators.
Yeah.
Here's a human
I
head.
can say, watch out for the gay furries.
Watch out for the gay fur hackers.
They'll get you.
Here's a yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So this anthropologist noticed that the skull looked awfully like a real one, and they ended up calling in the major crimes unit
Wow.
to analyze, and they found it to be an actual real skull.
Wow.
Sounds crazy and pretty rare, but apparently the same thing or similar to it happened in Arizona just like 2 months prior.
What the heck?
Another human skull was found in a box donated to a Goodwill in Arizona.
Here's like some old shoes,
I don't need this skull anymore.
some vinyl records, and grandma's head.
so crazy to me.
Yeah.
But the Goodyear Police Department, not the
Goodyear?
tire, yeah, but it's
What?
Goodyear. I think it's just that where the town it was in. Said the medical
they have a
examiner's
blimp?
initials findings. This was in Goodyear, Arizona.
okay.
Findings confirmed that the skull was not only human but also appeared to be historic. What I don't know what that means. Like
I don't know.
Been around a long time.
This head's been
This
seen some
been
things.
missing in the Goodyear Museum for
Yeah.
months.
Get the blimp. We're heading out.
But yeah, and it said like apparently, what does it say? Yeah, under Florida law, it is illegal to knowingly offer to purchase or sell, otherwise transfer any human organ or tissue, including eyes, corneas. I like how there's like corneas. Like I don't want the front of the eyeball.
Just give me that good
Is it okay
cornea
to-
stuff.
I don't want to sell the whole eyeball. Is it okay, the cornea, and the kidneys, livers, hearts, lungs, pancreas, and bones and skin.
What about hair?
Hair's fine.
Can you
sell
use
that
some-
all day long?
Yeah. Here's the hair section. I can't get you any corneas. It's against the law.
Can't give you the scalp or the skull,
Yeah.
but I'll give you the hair.
Here's the hair.
But yeah,
Wow.
super crazy.
That
Just
is
come
crazy.
across a real skull. So who knows? All those skeletons hanging in people's porch. Maybe one of them's a real
Freaking real.
skeleton.
That's creepy.
Cool, right?
That is cool.
Well,
Yeah, let's get into the meat of the podcast today. What is a casual prepper? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Why do we call ourselves casual preppers?
You
Cam?
guys
How
too casual.
Yeah.
Get into the good stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. How did we become what we are today?
I'm as interested as the
My
listeners.
wife asks that question all the time. How did you guys get here? But like this is actually a question we've answered many times before, usually on interviews from other people, on other podcasts. But it's like, what is this casual preppers thing? How did you guys?
Good Morning America, Today's Show.
They
ask us all the time.
Ellen. I don't know who else we've been on. We couldn't get onto Oprah.
No.
But
What's
yeah,
the one where those ladies all sit together? and
The
talk?
View.
The View.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been on there a few times.
few times. Those
They're
ladies.
super interested in
you
all
get,
that we do.
You get in like a text chain with those ladies. You can't. That doesn't stop. You know, it's recipes and all
That's
that kind
great.
of stuff. It's ridiculous. But yeah, why do we call ourselves casual preppers? Why did we start a podcast based on that? And what the hell is this thing that we're talking about, right? Because it could be confusing to some people, and it could turn a lot of people off, the word casual.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be casual. I'm going to be casual about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my dress, not my prep.
Going all in if I'm going.
If I'm doing something, I'm doing it all the way. But when Cam and I, many moons ago, after we met, we kind of both realized that we were kind of into this preparedness thing. We really, in anything like apocalyptic themed media, so whether that be books or movies, TV shows, podcasts, video games, all of that stuff we were super into. And then, we had somewhat new families and we wanted to get more prepared for them. And we're like, hey, we should start a podcast, because we started listening to these types of podcasts. We started like watching YouTube videos, and they all felt maybe just a little bit too much for us.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I mean, that really was the feeling that I always had. It's like you go on a
Doomsday was just being pushed big time.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that was
and-
popular at the time.
yeah,
too.
Doomsday Preppers was a big deal, and
It was
that
like
was
either you're not a prepper
Yeah.
or you're a Doomsday prepper.
or you're a Doomsday Prepper.
There was no in between.
We felt like these people that were pushing out the prepper stuff, they were just like letting, or preparedness was their life. It was everything. It was taking over their life. And for us, we just felt like it was too far in many respects. So, and then we started thinking, like, I'm sure there's a lot of average people just like us that they don't want to be associated with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Doomsday Preppers, because honestly, there is that stigma with Doomsday prepping. It's like, oh, you're a Doomsday Prepper. Like,
Yeah.
no.
most even to this day, like
Yes.
people still assume it's like we've done interviews and stuff, and they're like, "Well, maybe I'll start storing some cans." It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, do.
Yeah,
Or,
do it.
Like
That's
you're not a weirdo for doing that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
everyone should be doing that.
Yeah. And so then we decided, like, we loved talking. Talking's great for us.
I don't know.
We don't do
I
it
try
well.
it. I practice it. I don't do very good
We
at
don't
it.
do it well, but we're like, we're bad at this, but we like to do it. Why don't we record it? And so we wanted to do a podcast about prepping, and we're like, okay, let's do this, but what is the name? And that, because obviously that's a big deal.
It is a tough one.
Right? And like, first off, it's like, we're not experts. We definitely weren't in 2016 when we started this, and that was kind of the point, that we were learning through this process, and we wanted a name that sort of showed that. We didn't want people to hop on and say, "Well, these guys probably know exactly what they're talking about," because you know what, we did not.
No.
Yeah. So
Still.
still don't.
Still
No.
a lot
I
of-
mean, more so now, but yeah, still not.
Yeah.
Not much. So we landed on Casual Preppers. Obviously, if you're listening, you know that. That's the name of our podcast. That's what we landed on. So it's have we taken the time since then to really like define what we think casual prepping is here on the podcast? Like we said, I don't think we have.
No.
And to be honest, we didn't really have a solid definition of it
It's
when
true.
we started.
Like yeah.
Right?
We didn't.
We really didn't know, but I think over the years of doing the podcast, we've kind of naturally defined it through the way that we discuss the topics, from the topics that we pick, how we personally have been preparing over the years, and honestly, how you guys have responded to the podcast. All that's kind of helped us define what casual prepping is.
Yeah. I think that people that are in like our social media and
Yeah.
talk with us, you can see it like lines up perfectly with
Yeah.
what we wanted to do. And
Yeah. And not everybody, obviously. There's
no, there's some that are much more
yeah.
into it and
And that's
done that
okay.
for a lot longer. Yeah, no, it's great. I think we kind of bring all of that together.
Yes.
Well, we try to.
That's the
and
hope,
if it
right?
doesn't work out that way, or
Yeah.
they are pushing their knowledge too much, they don't last very long.
No. Well, it's okay for them to push their knowledge, but as long as they do
No,
it
it's
in
the
a
way they do it.
The way, yeah,
and we'll talk a
exactly.
little bit about that.
Yeah.
too.
So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our best to define what it is,
Yeah.
kind of have a discussion about casual prepping.
Yeah. And so casual prepping is, I don't feel like something that we just started to do. We were already living it.
Yes.
Like we
yes.
were already casual preppers. We
Maybe
just
at a
didn't have
lower
name.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe at a little, yeah, I would say that too. So, but yeah, casual prepping is more like everyday prepping, just living prepared like we feel everyone should. Living more smarter is what I put.
Yes, exactly.
More smarter is the best word there.
That is a really good word. Good job.
I love saying that one. But like, I always kind of think of like prepping in general, just everyday prepping, ask yourself, like, do you like to be comfortable? What conveniences do you live with and have that makes your life easier? What things do you do to help escape the stress and demands of life? And do you always want to be comfortable? Like we all do. We all want to like live smoothly, do the, most comfortable. I'm not, there's all those things about striving and stuff. And it's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about like you want things to be convenient and in place and comfortable to lower stress
Yeah.
and, just live happily.
Right.
And so like prepping, I think falls into this big time because every day we're planning things ahead to try and kind of like arrange our schedule to allow for a smoother experience, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So with prepping, it should be the same thing. Like we should be planning ahead to allow for, anything that pops up to not just throw us completely off track.
Yes, exactly.
And that's kind of how we were doing it, but not as detailed and not as organized. And so that's why we became the casual preppers.
Still not as organized.
Still not as
Still
organized.
doing it,
No,
though.
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
But like many people nowadays just live like day to day, paycheck to paycheck. They go to the grocery store every single day.
Yeah.
And I just read an article just this week about somebody who was saying that they go to 2 or 3 grocery stores nearly every day. Just like searching for different foods. And that's just their life. They don't really have anything at home. They just kind of live, week to week and day to day. And there's nothing really planned ahead.
Wow. Yeah, that's just insane to
Some
me.
people love that, but like
Sure.
it's gonna come crashing down at some point. There's just gonna like anything that interferes with that, like we saw with COVID, it's a nightmare, and people don't really know how to adapt to that.
Or they don't want to adapt to it.
Exactly.
The
That too.
conversation,
There's a lot of that.
like we were having that conversation with Jim Shockey, and he was talking about that. Like it kind of like some people don't want to hear the message of preparedness because it like totally upends their entire world.
Yeah, because
right?
they're like, I couldn't
do
do
that.
that.
No, I
There's
can't
no way
do
I
that.
could do that.
So I
So
don't-
they don't even prepare for
Yep,
anything.
exactly.
And so we kind of wanted to try and make that like connection of like you can be prepared, but you can just live normal and do like everything that you normally do. You don't
Yes.
need to be coming home working on the electrical, the lighting and stuff in your bunker every
Yeah.
afternoon and counting your bullets and all that stuff. Like you don't have to live that
yeah.
way, but there's things that you can do that definitely help you prepare for any of the little things that are likely to come. So
Yeah, it's like you can live that, like from the outside looking in, it's a seemingly completely normal life. Like
Yeah.
without, like nobody's like, well, that's weird.
Right.
Right. If you're
Right.
a doomsday prepper, obviously that's like, it's out of the norm.
Yeah.
But you could do it in a way, and that's the hope of what casual preppers is. You can do it in a way and still be more prepared, but not like let it take over everything.
yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's the thing too, is this like the doomsday preppers are kind of preparing for this massive event.
Yes.
They're going to be ready for all the small stuff, but they're really focusing on
Mm-hmm.
like long term, like years on end of just chaos and
Yeah.
no government stuff like that. More so.
And again, that's not wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But we, like Kobe always talks, he you bring up all the time when we talk with interviews is like we prepare like it's your own personal preparedness, your own personal apocalypse that you're preparing for. So the things that are most likely to interfere with your daily life, like earthquakes, floods, power outage, sickness, days off from work because you're sick, job loss, things like that is what we're kind of pushing more. You prepare for those things that are much more likely to come than an invasion from Russia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but you can build on that, and we'll talk about that too. But no one wants to feel completely lost by these events, scattered, panicked, trying to figure out how to like get food, what everybody's buying all the toilet paper because you see everybody else is buying, you don't know why.
It's crazy, dude.
You just need to be
Yeah.
more organized in that way that you've like, I've got some things I don't need to freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the things that we face in this life like are going to last, 2 to 3 days, maybe a week.
Mm-hmm.
There are way worse scenarios, and that's why we kind of build on that.
Mm-hmm.
But being prepared for those things just it makes me way more comfortable.
Oh my
like,
gosh,
I don't have to
yeah.
worry about. It's like I go to work every day. I got things to worry about there. I've got other things, getting kids to appointments and sports and stuff like that. It's like I don't really need to be worrying about like what if there's something that interrupts that whole thing.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that kind of set up for yourself. Like,
Right.
and that's what we talk about a lot is more common things that, at some point or another, you're going to face something that just throws your world, flips it upside down. And these simple little things can help a ton. So, we also kind of like, in a way, we kind of promote like a simpler lifestyle, like things that are more manageable, things that you're less dependent on. And I think that just kind of goes along with being a casual prepper is like, try to be a little more simple about it. You don't have to go overboard and like constantly worry about, man, I need to have a year's worth of food and,
Right.
and I think it kind of guides you to not feel so stressed about what the media does. Like,
Yes.
because you see all this news and you're like, man, things are just falling apart. But you don't, like, you can disconnect and just live every day, but build your preps in
Yeah.
like a very controlled, like
Consistent
calm
way.
manner.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do. And
Yeah.
so that's the casual side of prepping. You
Yeah.
definitely, advance a little bit beyond that if you feel like you need to, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we talk about that stuff all the time too. But
Yeah, and it's just like if you can get people to casual prep, if you can get all the people around you to casual prep,
that's another big thing for me.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's much easier to bring somebody towards casual preparedness than it is towards doomsday preparedness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's like one of those things that it lifts more people, it brings more people into preparedness
think
in
it
my
does, too.
eyes, right?
Yeah. And it's like, and I don't want to sound like rude about my neighbors and stuff.
Right.
Like I would be glad to help people, but I have a hard time helping people that haven't thought ahead, that haven't
Yeah.
prepared, that have just been, ignorant in these types of things. I'm like, it's hard for me to help you when you had all the chance in the world and you were
Yes.
told, and you like just common sense to have something
Right.
set aside. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things that
and that's going to happen. There's going to be plenty of people
there's-
that are completely unprepared.
yeah, and
we see it all the time.
We've talked about it all the
We
time.
even see
too.
it today. Like,
Yeah, for sure, man.
yeah.
But the one thing when we talk about casual preparedness is the basics,
Yeah.
right? And over the years of doing all these podcasts, it's not like we only talk about the basics. You guys know that. We talk about crazy stuff. We talk about super volcanoes. We talk about,
The most likely stuff: super volcanoes,
volcanoes.
alien invasions.
Yes, we talk about those things. And when we talk about those things, we're like, okay, so how do you prepare for this? It always comes back to almost exactly the same things.
Yeah.
Right? Like almost always it comes back to food storage, water storage, health, first aid kits, first aid skills, right? Backup medications, financial preparedness, EDC, like all of those things are like the basics of preparedness. And to us, this is the foundation of casual prepping, right?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, that's what we're going to talk about.
Every episode.
Every episode.
Yeah, I sometimes look at this and I'm like, how have we had so many episodes? But
Yeah. You
it
have
just goes into different details and like
Yeah.
different, but
Exactly.
the basics are always the same.
It's the foundation of everything. And again, all those extra stuff, it's great. But if you can be solid in those basics, you are going to be more prepared for like 95% of all situations.
Seriously.
Right? Like and again, those extras are so much fun to talk about, like firearms, obviously.
Yeah.
Some people
It's
are
a
going
little more exciting. The basics are
Yeah.
boring.
Some people are
But
going to
they're-
put that in the basics category too.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. But bunkers, obviously, oh my gosh, they're so much fun to talk
Yeah.
about. Like, and we've had complete episodes just on bunkers.
Yeah.
Right?
It's funny. I mean, we are casual, but if I could have all of this like
Yeah.
like doomsday stuff, I
Yeah.
would do it in a second.
Yeah, but I think the thing is,
I just wouldn't live that way.
yeah, you don't want to make your whole life. Well, we don't want to make our whole life,
And we
that
don't.
way. And we don't. And so that's why we do casual prepping, and that's why we promote this, because we feel like it's something, and we'll talk about this later. It's sustainable. It doesn't put you into that crazy category that people look at and go, oh, geez.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're one of
sometimes it
those.
still does. Like someone's, oh, you got to. For us, it's like, oh, you got a podcast on preparing,
Yeah.
prepping. It's like, well, yeah, but let me
not.
let me put an
Yeah.
asterisk on that because it's casual prepping.
want this soap bar I made?
Yeah, here's some natural deodorant. Use that. You'll stink no matter what.
Yeah. You'll stink and your armpits will be greasy.
Exactly. Good luck with that. Ruin all your shirts too. And you can eat it, and that's the only thing I eat. So
The all-in-one soap bar.
Ooh, man.
I eat it.
$1 million idea right there.
Deodorize my body. Wash my hair.
Yeah, for sure. Wash the truck.
Anything squeaking, you just rub it on the hinges.
WD-40.
It's the best.
Yeah. But even like the crazy like electronic stuff that you can get, like there's so many gadgets. I mean, this one might be controversial, but bug out vehicles, like that's kind of extra.
Yeah,
Like it's
and it's
do you know what I mean?
yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Bug out locations, the same thing. Like not necessary to have to be prepared for most situations, right? Again, if we can just focus on the basics, we're super efficient for as many possible probable scenarios that there are out there. We don't get overwhelmed. We don't let it take over our lives. That's just how it goes. Like when we discuss food storage, we don't say, oh, you know what, you got to have 3 years of perfectly set up 30-year shelf life food storage. It's just, it's not realistic.
No.
Right?
I still come across people that are like, you have a full year, and I'm like, I don't have a full planned out year of food storage, and they're just like, well, you ain't no prepper.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to
I'm
think
casual prepper. Thanks.
Yeah.
See ya.
Exactly. Yeah, go subscribe, dummy. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to have it, and you can slowly work towards it. It's like, it's not like I've stopped gathering that kind of stuff. It's just like a slow process, right? So I don't know. See, when we talk about that stuff, we're not the people who are going to say that. There are going to be a lot of other podcasts that will say that, right? Same thing with water. That's a tough one. But
that is a tough
but we
one.
also don't overlook health in favor of getting more 5.56, right? Or health in favor of a lifted Jeep that's going to be our bug out vehicle. Like those, we look at things like where health is more important than all of them in some ways.
Yeah.
Right. So
for sure.
Good health affects us so positively in all aspects of our lives that you can't overlook it. So when in doubt, when you're thinking about casual prepping, the basics are the foundation.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else I think fits into the basics?
What?
Protection from cybercrime.
It's these days.
We are all...
You got gay furry hackers all over the place.
Exactly.
You don't want to have to deal with that.
Just in the past 2 years, I've had my credit card information. Like I've had fraudulent charges that says my wife's name, but I still block it.
What is going on at Ulta? It wasn't me.
So, but yeah, like it's a huge threat and a risk for all of us, everyone, because we all connect to the internet. If you're listening to this, then you're at risk.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a phone and you're downloading from the internet. But you can protect yourself.
Yeah.
You can get Surfshark. It's a virtual private network that can protect you and all your devices. Once again, that's all your devices.
Yeah.
Not just your phone or just your iPad or just your computer.
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, your Tamagotchi can go protected. And it basically allows you to go gray man online. No one can trace it back to you. Your IP address is in a different country even.
I'll bet you the gay furry hackers use a VPN.
I wouldn't doubt. I'm certain they do.
Yeah.
They have to.
They have to.
But you don't have to worry about malware, phishing, obnoxious, and unsafe ads and emails because you're protected. If you accidentally click on one or maybe purposely click on one of those ads, it's not going to like feed you all this garbage because it doesn't have your IP address. The other thing is you can use it to your advantage. You can actually connect to, France and watch their weird shows.
Oui.
I don't know or Spain or Germany.
Yeah.
They have servers all over the world, and you can connect to them, and you can actually access different TV networks as if you were in that country. That's
TBS, TNT.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So go and protect yourself today. I purchased this, and I have for 4 years now with my own monies.
Yeah.
I don't get I use our discount, of course,
for sure,
which is 83% off from 24 months. Plus, you get 3 more months. You get 27 months for less than $60.
I still don't believe it.
It's true. I paid for it.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
it works.
So crazy.
Especially if you're traveling a lot and connecting to public Wi-Fi, you should be using a VPN.
Definitely.
Go to surfshark.deal/casual preppers and get you the best deal to protect you through these holidays.
I like it. I love it.
So, expanding on those basics. So you've got that stuff in place. And I still go back to the basics all the time and make sure I'm like, I need to do better and have this plan even more solid.
Because the hard thing is sometimes you kind of get bored of the basics.
You do. They're boring.
And like the extra stuff is fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
All
extra
that
stuff
gear.
is fun.
Oh, man, it's so much fun.
So sometimes, you do. You kind of leap over the basics and go to the cool stuff. But
not that that's bad.
Yeah. You should work on the basics and then expand upon those. So what does that mean? Like we talk about all those kind of more exciting events and stuff like that, it kind of gets you thinking about like, what other things could I do and have that would allow me to comfortably get through like a really bad scenario?
Sure.
The thing that you can do is kind of like build on to what hobbies you already have. Like maybe you hike, or you're a trail runner, or you're, do overlanding and all that stuff. That stuff applies big time to prepping because you have nicer gear, You also, if you camp a lot, you figure out what works out in the wilderness. And those are things that you can kind of expand upon. It may even be a sneaky way if your significant other isn't into this. You can be like, hey, I need more gear for my overlanding.
Yeah,
something like that.
or going camping. I need camping gear. Hiking
Exactly.
gear.
But then you can build onto your basics and kind of start developing a more elaborate plan. And so what we kind of always recommend, and that's why we do this podcast, is we kind of paint these like little intense scenarios.
Yeah.
They're funner. Talking about a zombie apocalypse is a lot more exciting than COVID-20. Something coming up that could be just super annoying. But with that, it goes back to the basics for sure. You got to have all your preps for that. But then you're also thinking about like, I want firearms and ammunition to take out all the zombies. And that's going to help in the long run in many ways. You trade, you barter the ammo, and you have self-defense and all that stuff. So it works out both ways. And like I said before, like building these like plans and having more prepared, I was griping about like my neighbors not having things and being prepared. Obviously, we're going to probably help one another.
Guarantee that you are.
But it's like 20 to 30 families that are prepared aren't going to support a community of 25,000
no, it's
people.
just not going to happen.
So the more of this that we can push out, just to be like, casually you can add, prepping to your lives to be helpful to yourself and also to your community, because you're not going to have anybody to fall back on. Maybe you're one of those that's just like, I'm going to take everything I want.
There's plenty out there.
There's plenty of those. But the other thing is you start thinking about more of, how do I keep my family both safe and comfortable?
Yeah.
Like, I hate when the power goes out. It's kind of fun and exciting for a minute, but then you're like, now we're bored.
This sucks.
What do we do?
Yeah.
So that's where you like start building into like, having board games or having backup power. Also, how do you cook indoors so you don't have to go outside if it's in the middle of the winter that something happens? So you just kind of build on what you already have and make your plan a little bit more elaborate and a little bit like more extensive for these scenarios that don't allow you to, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You can kind of enjoy those times. Nobody really will, but it makes it way more comfortable to get through.
Sometimes it is fun for a short period of time.
It is.
Right.
And so that's why we do these little scenarios. And so outside of the basics, you kind of have to look at like scenarios of what if it does go longer? Like, what more things do I need on top of what I've already prepared? Okay, I have 72 hours or I have 2 weeks. What if I have to share with a few of my neighbors that are unprepared? I'm not going to be able to make it 2 weeks. So another reason to kind of push for that 30. And maybe you have the means now. Maybe, that your job's going well and you have a little extra money and you're like, I'll probably put it a little more into keeping my family safe and things more comfortable.
Or maybe you don't want to.
Maybe you don't want to. That's
You know what I
fine.
mean?
You
Yeah.
can go buy something or go on a trip.
Yeah, it's like
We aren't going to shame you for
no,
that.
yeah, that's a big thing in it, and it's like casual prepping really comes back to what are you comfortable with,
Right.
Right, like that's the big deal. Like, what do you want out of it?
Exactly. And it's just like a lot of things like that happen in life. Not only with prepping, but like I have like I've talked to financial advisors, which and some of them just like shame you for using your money to, you're like, well, I have, we're comfortable, we're safe, we're not overspending, but you're making it sound and seem like I'm an idiot for spending some money for entertainment.
We got to remember, financial advisors, they're in it for money.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so anyways,
we're not in it.
Yeah.
We don't get anything out of this.
I mean, we get some free gear.
We get some sponsors and free gear, but we don't make a living. This isn't our main job.
No, not even close.
So we do it for that reason of just like helping people to kind of be self-sustaining.
Yeah, it really is. Like the biggest reason, maybe the biggest reason I do this is because I love it, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's the number one reason. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's number one for me.
Yeah.
Number two is I honestly feel like we can help some people. Like, I honestly feel, and I know we have over the years because we've gotten the emails and the messages. And so, like, I'll give you 1 and 2 right there. That's number one. I have fun BSing with Cam
For sure.
about stuff. Number two, I really
I would
want to
probably
help
have
people.
some preps, but I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for like enjoying this.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is we try to make it enjoyable, not not just be terrified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah. So that's all I have.
That's all you got. Okay. And another big thing about casual prepping, the number one appeal and idea that we hope people gather from it is like have fun.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with the podcast. If you haven't figured it out, we like to have fun.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. I just told you that was my number one thing. Like really
Some people don't like that either.
No,
They're
they
like,
don't.
this isn't a funny thing to talk about.
Yeah,
And we're like, no, it's serious.
Yeah.
But
You can have fun while
you
talking
can
about
have
it.
fun.
Like and I think there's like specific reasons I feel like we do this. Like for me, honestly, like preparedness can be so enjoyable. It can be so much fun.
Yeah.
Like there's all the gear is super cool. It's fun to play with. It's fun to figure out. A lot of the skills are fun, right?
They are.
They're really fun to figure out. I suck at most of them, but they're fun. And that peace of mind that comes with that preparedness, it's like it's an overall improvement in your quality of life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which means that if your life is getting better, your fun is increasing. Right? It's
I
just
agree.
how it goes. It's kind of a correlation there. So, and then also when it's fun, you do it. You actually like retain
Yeah.
this knowledge.
yeah.
Right? It's like when I listen
If
to
you don't apply things, like I forget about them.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly. If it's like something I'm not interested in,
yeah.
yeah, it's gone.
Like there are a lot of podcasts out there you can go listen to that has that boring droning voice giving you like the lowdown facts on water purification.
Yeah.
How many drops of Clorox for, and then I'm
true.
like, we talk about that all the time. Like if somebody asks me that, I'm like, I don't know. I can
Yeah.
go look it up
I
for
know.
you. I know
Yeah.
where it's at. The whole point,
Those little details aren't what we do.
you don't have to know those. As long as you have them to access somewhere,
Especially
right?
if I'm delivering those details, you're never going to remember them.
I mean, that's the whole idea behind the podcast. We want it to be fun. We want you guys to have a good time. If you are entertained in some way listening to the podcast, you're going to come back and then you're going to retain a little bit more information on the next topic that we talk about, right? If you always try and keep that level of involvement and preparedness kind of in that fun zone, which is going to be really different for everybody else, for everyone, it's going to be better. You're not going to burn yourself out, for one thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that happens, and we'll talk about that more later.
This podcast's funny and I have fun, but these guys don't take it
Yeah,
serious.
that is-
I still that review
that
still
review, oh my gosh.
so funny.
Like, these guys really are funny. I really like them, but it's too much fun.
I enjoyed it so much, I just didn't get what I wanted.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, it's not for everybody. For sure, it's not for everybody.
But yeah, some people are looking for all the little minutiae
Yeah.
and stuff. And it's like we don't.
That's not
That's
us.
not what we're doing.
No, read the name.
It's there. The information for
Mhm.
that would allow most people to prepare
Yeah.
is there, but
Uh-huh.
it's not going to be it's not
Yeah.
going to be a
No.
classroom session.
I mean, and when we talk about casual preparedness, casual prepping, it's kind of like it's just a fun hobby most of the time. And if you keep it that way, that's really
That's the only way you're going to keep with it. Like,
That's the
honestly.
way-
That's the only way I keep with it. It's just like,
100%.
I
Yep.
enjoy it.
Yep. You know, and just because like that super volcano or the earth destroying asteroid isn't likely, that doesn't mean you can't entertain the idea if it's enjoyable, if you like to entertain
Yeah.
it. Because guess what? We like to entertain it.
Yeah.
We talk about that crap all the time, you know? And then we talk about those hobbies. Cam kind of alluded to this a bit. These activities that you can do that are sort of within the prepping realm, but when you look at it from the outside, you don't look like you're a doomsday prepper. But
Yeah.
you're really like moving your preparedness forward with these types of hobbies and activities. Like Cam said, hiking and camping and overlanding. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. Like
There's so much overlap, but
there is.
can apply to just preparedness. So.
Yeah, martial arts, backpacking, firearms, again, hunting, fishing, axe throwing. Cam did some axe throwing recently. Reading. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. These hobbies are super fun, but they're also a great way to hone skills within the preparedness arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then the thing that got Cam and I talking about it and really together on this sort of preparedness journey was the movies, the video games.
It was,
the
exactly.
TV shows that have like that apocalyptic slant to them, or some sort of preparedness mindset within
Yeah.
the plot,
Yeah.
right?
Every single one of those movies or like books or something, I'm like putting myself in that scenario. It's like,
Yes.
would I be prepared today as I
Yeah.
as I have it right now? Like, could I live through some kind of scenario like this, or what would I do?
Yeah.
That's the funnest thing to do.
Oh, so much fun.
It makes you like a little bit freaked out, but then you're
Yeah.
like, That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, well, and that's like a lot of the reason for those scenario episodes we've been doing too, right?
Exactly.
You put yourself into that scenario and like, well, how prepared am I for that?
Those
Do I-
have made me think
Yeah.
a lot more about like what I have.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've been accumulating it, but I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been applying different like scenarios with it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I probably wouldn't do what my same plan is all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly. But you know,
I got
those
plan A and that's it.
Yeah, those books, those movies, those video games, it's just a really great way to consider ideas around prepping while having fun. Again, keeping it fun. That's
Yeah.
the whole point, man. Like, this doesn't have to be rigid and boring, and it can be fun. And once it's not fun, it becomes a chore, and it's something that it can be
Just
something.
another chore.
Yeah, it kind of maybe takes over your life, or you get to a point where you get burnt out. And we'll
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit
Yeah.
later. But I got to talk about, today the world is unpredictable.
Oh yeah.
Right, Cameron? And being prepared for unexpected health challenges, it's more crucial than ever. That's why we are so glad we discovered Contingency Medical. Imagine a health crisis strikes, the usual channels for medications are disrupted. That's where Contingency Medical saves the day by providing you access to emergency packs of antibiotics for ordinary ailments like urinary tract infections, ear infections, strep throat, and more. We're talking about common antibiotics that treat hundreds of additional infections. It's not just for those things. Contingency Medical even has symptom management medicines for everything from nausea and diarrhea to motion sickness, ensuring you're up to the task even if you're not feeling your best. I recently went through the process of ordering my own Ready Pack Plus. Cam did the same thing last year. I'm here to tell you that it like astounded me. It was so easy.
Yeah.
It was so freaking easy. The process was simple. I honestly thought like, oh, they're going to send me more stuff that I'm going to have to do. No, they just sent me the pack.
Yeah.
Like it was like so easy. So that part really I was stoked about that. Contingency Medical also provides access to board certified physicians for guidance and safe and effective treatment. Plus, your prescriptions are shipped from licensed pharmacies, so you know you're receiving quality care from start to finish. And get this, Contingency Medical offers free shipping on all packs, so there really is no reason to delay. Now's the time to prioritize preparedness, and even more so right now because they have a Black Friday sale going on through the end of November. So you got about a week from when this will publish. So don't wait. Go to contingencymedical.com/CPP right now. Enter the promo code CPPBFCM. So our normal code will only get you $20. This code's going to get you $40 off your pack till the end of the month. That is contingencymedical.com/CPP. Use code CPPBFCM for $40 off any pack at contingencymedical.com. Now
Casual
through
Prepper
Yeah.
podcast, Black Friday, Contingency Medical.
Contingency Medical, yeah. Only now through November 30th. Again, a disclaimer, Contingency Medical and its products are not intended as a substitute for professional medical treatment or advice. Consult with your healthcare provider.
Yeah.
All right.
It's such a great thing because like
Oh my gosh.
we have this like unique situation where I can prescribe and
Yeah.
and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but like most can't. And again, we've talked about fish antibiotics, but seriously,
Yeah.
this is the safest thing to do.
Mhm.
And then with that, you can consult with somebody
Yes.
that probably is into nursing or a medical provider or something like that. And you're like, I have these, can I use them? Such a good idea.
It comes in this
Such a good
nice
idea.
little discreet package that you could put wherever you feel is safe.
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
It's perfect.
Keeps them out of sunlight, and you can put them
Yes.
down in your basement. That's what I do.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I
Get
just
it.
mix them all together.
Yes. Little cocktail.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to help something.
Those are going to fix something I got. I guarantee it.
But like we'd mentioned before, like the big thing about this whole, like probably the best experience I've had with this entire thing is that I've learned from others. Like
Yeah.
we learn together. We don't like the worst thing you can have is somebody that's like, and we always joke about this, is like you have those a-holes on the internet that are like,
Yeah.
well, what are you going to do with that? Oh, you got 22 bullets? You're a pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing's going to go anywhere.
Mhm.
Oh, you're driving around a van. That's your bug out vehicle. Good luck. You ain't getting anywhere. Like no one likes that.
That is
no
the
one,
worst.
It's the biggest turnoff
Oh my gosh.
of like preparedness. And then like we are like completely against all that crap.
That like we encountered that a lot when we started the
We
podcast.
did big time.
There was
People
a lot
were
of it.
attacking us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like those of you that are still listening and stayed with us and
Mm-hmm.
like those people don't last very long. I don't think that we like cast them off and tell them they can't, sometimes that happens. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you realize like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're all like working and helping each other and giving advice. And a lot of the other ones have their own social media that like have, tips and skills and
Sure.
like gardening and then, bugging out and stuff like that. It's awesome. And that's exactly what we wanted to happen.
Again, one of my favorite things about the podcast is the community that we've built around the podcast, whether it be on social media or just like the podcast itself. The people are so cool.
Yeah.
Like they are really so cool.
They
and
really are.
they're the people we have attracted are the people that really want to help other people.
Yeah.
And they're just so like they're not those
Their
dicks.
whole life isn't prepping.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah, and they want to help, and everybody's like super cool to each other, even after we make fun of their names.
And there's so many more listeners that are way more talented and skilled
Oh, yeah.
than we are with prepping. Like,
Yeah.
you will get way more from probably just joining and listening to like the examples and
Yeah.
stuff that people have shared with us.
Yeah, go to the Facebook group because there's a lot of cool stuff that they share around in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, most of those people are way smarter than us when it comes to preparedness.
Yeah,
And the
but they're
gear
not
and all that.
arrogant about it.
They're not arrogant about it. They
Like,
want to help you.
They're not those people who are like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're a dummy. Good luck, stupid.
Like there was a guy a couple years ago that I think he was on the Facebook group that hopped on and
Yeah, I remember that one too.
And within like 30 minutes, there were like 50 memes
Yeah.
that were made of him. He's like, he's gone.
Yeah.
He was gone just like that because we just don't
Don't
deal
have
with
those
it.
trolls and
No.
stuff within our
No.
It's awesome that way.
It's the best. Like you guys listening are the best part
Yeah.
of this. Besides me and Cam goofing off, that's
Right.
the best part.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like our casual approach, the joking around and everything, it's been helpful in kind of balancing it out, of
Yeah.
making it fun, making it funny, but also there's the seriousness to it that everybody's, I think, getting done. It's like, oh yeah, no, like it's funny. Like you do have some points. I'm going to do this, but it's more enjoyable in the way that like we try to present it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we really try to push the things that we've learned and know and look forward to. I mean, we do research. We,
Yeah.
it's not like we're just willy-nilly talking about the same stuff. We look more into the details and we get help from others. And I mean, we've talked to experts and stuff like that too. And so I just feel like we're kind of that like middleman between like
Yeah.
the pros and the beginners. And I'd say more than anything, I think we lean more towards the beginner side of it.
Yeah.
It's like we're not experts in any of this, and I hate like that's the only thing that sucks is when we talk to people like you guys are experts in.
I know.
We're not at all. Like,
And that's usually what the
we
first
never
thing we
claim
say.
to be, and nor are we. Like,
We were on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, or somebody said, like, you guys being experts in this, and I'm like, and he had this long question, and then when I went to answer, I'm like,
The first thing-
first off, we are not experts at anything
Yeah.
on this. Like, this is not. That's the whole point.
Yep.
The whole point is that we're not experts, right?
we're not.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing is like we don't judge anybody in how they
Yes.
prep. Share your information and what you do. Like, you're not going to get shamed for it. You're
Yeah.
not doing it wrong. Like,
No.
if you're doing something to prepare, that is like the
Yeah.
ultimate goal for us. We just want you to like think ahead and start preparing some stuff. If you decide to store 600 gallons of milk in your basement, awesome.
Yeah.
Like-
Drink fast. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways to do it. None of it's wrong as long as you are thinking that I need to have some, preps. I need to have some supplies just in case I can't go to the grocery store the next day or, several days or something like that. Like that's our biggest.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's our biggest message and the thing that we teach the most. So
We got a message a couple weeks ago, maybe from somebody. I think it was on Instagram, and they're like, "Hey, brand new listener, you guys inspired me." And they sent a picture of some food. They went and got 3 cans of soup.
yeah,
Like that's all it was. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like you're starting.
Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of people will be like, well, that ain't gonna do nothing. Like, yes, it will.
Yeah.
If you can build on that every single month, 3 more cans of soup the next
Yeah.
time, you're going to have 30 cans of soup at some point, and you're going to have a month's worth of food for somebody,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it's like, that is so cool to see.
yeah. Or you can punch people with those cans in your hands.
Throw them,
Twice.
throw
Yeah, exactly.
cans at people.
Shoot
Yeah.
'em.
Shoot
You got
shoot
something to
them.
do.
Right. Stack them
Yeah.
for a game or something. They're soup
You got
stacking.
so many different things.
You ever played soup stacking?
Yeah, but-
It's not real. I just made it up. That could be a
Somebody's
cool
gonna-
sport. That
somebody can get into it.
That would be cool if one of our listeners like made.
Hey,
a little,
someone mentioned soup stacking.
I can't believe
I've been
someone else
doing that
does
for a
it.
long time.
It's usually stew for me, but yeah, I like stacking stuff.
Tuna cans are way fun.
Oh gosh,
You can stack them
flat and long. You know,
That's the best.
flat and
You
long.
got a lot bigger base.
Yeah,
So much better.
Yeah, you ever seen those big cans of tuna that are like that big? We do this thing every Christmas Eve where my family, everybody gets $10 and we have to go to Walmart and we pick somebody's name out of a thing and you have to buy a present for that person.
Oh, nice. It's
My-
like you're there.
You're
Like
there.
You're getting the present
That like
that's
we
awesome.
all get the things.
I actually like it that way.
then we
'cause I hate
drive.
the like time
Yeah.
of thinking like.
So a lot of times it's like crazy presents. One year, my nephew got my dad like a huge can of tuna, like that big. It was the best.
I love that.
Oh man, it was so funny. And like one year, I got was it me? Somebody got my dad a goldfish from Walmart. It was so funny. Just like the crap that we come back with. That big tuna
That's
can
awesome.
reminded
I
me
like
of
that
that
idea.
Yeah, it's fun times.
But yeah, so yeah. I mean, we're here to have fun with it.
Yeah,
You're gonna, learn some things, maybe. And
good luck. Yeah,
but
maybe.
we're not here to like
No judging.
make fun of what you're doing and put
No.
down what you're doing. Like any little bit of prepping is what we're all about.
Yeah, for sure. And like all of that little bit of prepping comes back to improvement in life skills, and things that like just elevate the rest of your life.
It
right?
really does. Like I know
Yeah.
it sounds like if you're a prepper, like you're not gaining anything from it. I've gained so much in
Oh.
terms of like
Yeah.
patience and like learning how to like simple things. Just going camping is way more efficient
Right.
now.
And just like things like keeping your gas tank half full.
Yeah.
All the time. There's huge benefits to that in your everyday life.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to like you're late somewhere. Have you ever had that? You're late. You get going and the gas light's on.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're just like, oh my gosh. Like, and it gets you pissed off. And then you and your wife are fighting. And that's bad.
Yeah, you're behind and you're trying to get like out of town and you're like, I
Uh-huh.
still got to stop and get gas. What? How
Well, this is ridiculous. But if you're kind of following some of those basic, casual prepper rules that we talk about all the time, like keeping your gas tank half full, you avoid that. And it doesn't look like you're a doomsday prepper. You're just keeping your gas tank half full.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, right?
A lot of life hacks.
Yeah. That elevated level of situational awareness, that's something that we talk about frequently, and it can actually help keep you and your family safer. Obviously you don't want to
It really does, yeah.
You don't want to take this to like the next level. That guy that's like, oh, I have to sit looking at the front door in this corner, and I
we
gotta
have
gotta walk around the room.
firearm on my ankle.
Yeah,
but
like-
if you do,
If you do, that's fine, but you can do that without taking it that far, right?
Exactly.
EDC. This is something that's huge, man. Having that knife on you all the time, it actually comes in handy. Like it really, I don't know how often it's like we're trying to open something or something needs to be cut. They're like, oh, Kobe's got a knife.
Yep.
Where's he? Right.
Yep. I've been tied up multiple times. I've been glad I had that on.
And yeah, you're glad I was there with my knife, huh? I'm the one that tied
He's
you
tied
up.
up again his shoelace.
You just
Got
get
my finger caught in here.
I don't know how I do this. It's like a Chinese finger trap. Can't figure it out, man. He's always getting his shoelaces
Got my finger tied in my shoelace.
wrapped around his digits. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how. And then like we talked about that better overall health, your diet, right? We talk about that being such a big
Yeah.
thing for casual preppers to look at because you know what? That actually does improve your life overall
It does.
in a million
like-
different ways.
There's those little parts. I mean, we did a full episode on anxiety and depression.
Yes,
because like going into a scenario where you're not able to do everything that you do in a normal day because you can't leave your house or you
Yeah.
have to go out of your house with a mask on, and like it's a huge impact on your mental health. So
Yes.
that's all part of this, and like so we talk about those daily things.
For sure. And then like that normalcy bias.
Mm-hmm.
This is I think what gets most people that don't even consider preparedness, right? That normalcy bias. If you're not a prepper, if you're not a casual prepper, you really fall into that thing like it's just going to be this way all the time. Everything's going to be fine. I can go to the grocery store every single day because the food will always be there. The credit card will always work. I will always have fuel to get there. But we know as a casual prepper, you've looked at a risk assessment. You understand the things
Yeah.
that might and could happen to you. You've filled out the emergency plan because I've talked about it ad nauseum, right? And you revisit it every single year. All of these things will help you overcome that normalcy bias without not looking normal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you still look like a normal person. You don't.
Yep.
You don't look like Joe Prepper that only eats 30-year shelf life food
Or soap.
Or soap. It's a bad deal. And that's the hard thing. Some people really don't want to look like a prepper.
Yeah.
And
Or
following.
don't even think about it like you were saying. There's like, I don't even want to think about the
even wanna think
possibility of like this all going south. So
Because
they don't even prepare.
Because they think they have to be a doomsday prepper
Yeah.
to be ready.
Yeah.
You don't, right? You can be a casual prepper.
Very casual.
Very casual. So anyways, that's another thing to consider.
Yeah, no, I like that because that's the thing is like I've learned a bunch of little life tips of like
Sure, yeah.
just making life easier by following some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is like you do at times when you get into prepping have this sense of urgency and you're like,
yeah.
you know what? And I've fallen victim to this. I remember when we started, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go drop. I think I spent like $400 or $500 on like 25-year shelf life foods,
Right.
which I don't regret.
No, for sure not.
But if I could go back and do it different, I would have like structured it and probably gone more with shelf, like shorter life foods that taste good and you eat and you're not afraid to dip into.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the other thing with this 25-year. But like, I spent a lot of money at that point. I could see how people could easily get into debt in worry. It's like, I'm going to take out a loan because, currency ain't going to mean squat.
Exactly.
So I'm going to buy $10,000 of food to store and, not worry about, I'm just going to stop paying my mortgage when things go south because I can do that.
So many people do this.
Yeah. They're like,
They really do.
they're like, I've got all this, all these nice conveniences and they just don't, they just get a little bit of like, well, it's easy. I'll take one day, spend a bunch of money on my food storage. I'm set. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, you can do that, but,
Make sure it's within your means if you do
yeah,
do that. That's
but
the biggest
if
thing.
if you're bending, your finances and just like expecting to be, it's not going to matter if I have food if things go south because
Yeah.
I'm not going to be paying for those other things. I guarantee you, those people that you have a loan with, they will find you.
Yeah, they're gonna find you somehow. Yeah.
So, but and then the other, like with that, it's easy. Like if you don't spend the time and kind of research, it's easy to get caught up in buying like the fanciest, the most expensive gear when you
Sure.
really don't always need to do that. Like there's some things that work just as well. And my brother doesn't listen to this podcast, which is good. Yeah. I'm fine with that because he's a little snobby that way. Like he's the type that's like, he texted me the other day and was like, "Hey, I'm looking at buying a fixed blade knife for camping," and I was like, "Dude, I have a ton. Like, let me send you some pictures."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, those are some nice ones, but I'm looking at this one that's Swiss made. That's like," I'm like, "Go ahead,
Sure, yeah.
spend $300 on a knife
Yeah.
that's gonna work no different than this
Yeah.
blade that I have and have tried and used." And
Unless you're using that knife every single day,
Yeah.
it's like you don't necessarily have to have it.
no,
You just
exactly.
don't. Yeah.
So he's all about like he buys like, "Oh, this has been
Yeah.
consumer reported and researched and done," and I'm like, but you're spending triple the amount when something that would function just as
on
well
something
as it
you
would.
use twice a year.
Yeah. So it's easy to overspend and to like go outside of your means for what you think is the best thing to do. So hey, if you have a means to do it, go ahead. That's fine.
Sure,
But
yeah.
but really you should, take time to research, set that plan and kind of take your time. We always talk about prepping is it's not a race, it's a marathon. Like it takes time to build up to what your goal is. You want intricate details on those plans. Like that's the thing that I regret the most when getting back to that food is just I bought it, but I don't have any plan with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm afraid it's probably going to get wasted because I didn't have a plan set forth before I got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, live and prep within your means. There's no reason to go out and spend a ton of
Yeah,
money on stuff.
that's a
that
huge deal
You're
with-
not able to do.
Yeah, that's a huge thing with casual prepping, right? We don't want anybody to feel like if I don't have $1,000 to go out there and do this, I'm not gonna be prepared. You
Yep.
don't have to.
Nope. We have plenty of episodes that are like $100 prepping or
free.
Amazon or free prepping.
Yeah, so look at those things if you can, and you're getting much closer to preparedness. There's this thing, and I think we even did an episode on this a while ago called Prepper Burnout. I think we did an episode on that, right? Prepper Burnout. Some preppers, they get to a point where they become obsessed, or they just go like really, really hard for a short period of time. And this isn't necessarily bad, but you can become burned out. And you can kind of like fall off the preparedness wagon doing this. You spend a whole bunch of money, like Cam said, or a bunch of time, a bunch of energy really quickly.
Then you feel like you're set. It's almost like a normalcy bias within the prep as a prepper.
Or you get to that point where the thought of doing anything else with it, you just burned yourself out. You're like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I did a whole bunch of that for 3 months, and that's stupid. I don't want to. I'll come back to it later. And again, it's okay from time to time to take a break, but it can be a huge negative if you aren't careful. You might be so burnt out that you just take your eye off the ball with preparedness, with that like everyday preparedness, right? So you don't do those like simple, small
I go
things.
in and out of this a little bit.
I do too, right?
It's like I've got some things ready. I'm prepared, but I could be doing a little each time, each day.
And you don't sometimes.
Like you were saying, like adding just a little bit to your groceries that you buy, I feel like every hour.
Yep.
Like it's like just throw a little bit more in there.
And that's why I feel like with the thing with casual preparedness, it's like a slow, steady burn.
Yeah.
Right? It just feels like a really good pace for it. And so I think that's like the last thing I wanted to add with casual preparedness is like, don't get too high, don't get too low, just get like a nice steady burn in there. And the consistency is a great way to get more prepared over time.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's perfect because that the prepper burnout is for sure a thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've felt it.
Especially when you go through like COVID-19, you're just like, I am sick of everything related to like preparedness.
Exactly.
I did go through that.
Yeah. Guys, today's podcast is brought to you by TacPack, the only monthly tactical subscription box with useful professional grade stuff inside. Use our code Casual Preppers and get a free $70 machine-made part from Next Level Armament. If you got an AR-15, or if you like AR-15s, or if you've thought about AR-15s,
if you would like a $70 part,
get this. These guys, I don't know how they get their boxes.
I don't care what it is. It's worth $70.
It's worth $70. You're gonna get it for like $50. So do it. Yeah. So, anyways, that's casual preparedness. That's what a casual prepper is.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add to that, Cam? At this point,
I don't. I think that, like I said, everybody should just have a little bit of preparedness in mind. Instantly, you're a casual prepper.
I like that.
Just for having
subscribe to the podcast. You're a casual prepper, right? That's all it takes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's time for the quick and dirty medical tip.
Okay. So,
quick and dirty.
I love my fingers.
Dude, I've been using them all day.
They're so nice.
Yeah.
No one likes
yours are pretty nice looking.
No one likes a finger disorder. Yeah. Mine give off a lot of sweat.
So my knuckles are
nice
getting bigger, and I'm getting weird calluses from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, Cam. So yeah, they're a little mangled because of like holding onto lapels and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that would like twist.
Yeah,
but there are some finger disorders that just can come on out of nowhere, which is kind of weird. And they suck to deal with.
Do they?
So the first one's ingrown nail.
Oh yeah,
they suck on your foot.
Yeah,
times that by about 100 on your finger.
Oh really?
They hurt
I've never
so
really
much
had
more,
one.
and they're way worse. Yeah, and typically, you don't want to give them as much time as you would with a toe. Like you want to get antibiotics and get it treated because it can get bad fast.
Wow.
Plus, all the finger things that I'm going to talk about, the finger things are real
gay furry finger things.
They're super painful.
Yeah.
Like it just hurts. Your fingers are great.
You use them.
They
for
have
stuff.
a lot of sensitivity in them. So the first one, like I was saying, is ingrown nail. So things that you can do for that. And again, these are all. I'm applying all these to, a scenario that you don't have access to medical care.
You can't go to urgent care.
Obviously, you want to go to urgent care or something like that. But an ingrown nail, first thing you're going to try is like soaking it 15 minutes every 2 hours or so, and you're going to kind of like work the nail away from the bed. So
sounds
you're
painful.
Yeah, it does. It hurts. One thing you can do is if you get, see, my hands sweat like crazy, so I don't know that any of this or this would work for me. But some people's hands like
dry as all get
they're
out.
super dry. And you can tape like along the edge that's infected and just pull the tape around and tape. So it's got
Tape
pressure
ain't
and
sticking
it
to me.
pulls. Me either. But that's one option you can do.
Hmm.
And then typically, if it gets bad and all festered up, like you're going to need antibiotics and probably open up the spot that's infected.
That's where you need contingency medical.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say that. So
I think there was Cipro in there.
A lot of these are in there. Yep.
Mhm.
Keflex, Cipro, Augmentin, Amoxicillin, like they're in there. The one thing you can do is you can actually scrape the nail bed and it allows the nail to kind of weaken and it'll kind of pull away.
Oh, yeah,
so
that
you're
makes
weakening the arch.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's ingrown nail. The other one is paronychia, which is paronychia is an infection, just by the cuticle. It's just on the where the nail sits.
Mhm.
It's just proximal to that. So
Okay.
it's basically just above the cuticle. So that area, if it gets all inflamed and painful, it's a paronychia.
Is that why you push your cuticle back as a lady?
I think
why do they
pushing
do that?
your cuticle back, I don't know.
I don't get it.
But
Why is that a
hurts.
thing?
But I could see that being a higher risk of causing
Okay.
a paronychia.
I'm not saying I do it. I've seen the ladies do it.
I don't
So
know.
why.
I don't know what it does for the nail. If it makes it just look more attractive,
I don't
or
know.
I don't know the medical side of that.
I think the cuticles are cute. Ickles.
That's a cute cuticle.
Cuticle.
But an infection in that area can be pretty painful, and it usually needs antibiotics pretty quick. Like,
Jeez.
that's why you want the contingency medical.
Yeah.
But soaking again for 15 minutes, about every 2 hours.
I heard they like soaking in BYU.
Oh yeah, they do like soaking at BYU.
Never mind. That's a bad joke.
They get away from.
I had a bad
They
joke.
get the bad joke. Speaking of antibiotics, soaking.
Speaking of antibiotics.
Soaking will cause a
Yeah.
need for that. But yeah, so and then you would do an incision just along the top surface of that to kind of drain it.
I
because
wouldn't.
it just builds up. I know.
I'm not doing
You can
that.
do antibiotics and all that, but it probably is going to need to be opened up.
Ugh.
Now, a felon,
Like someone who's committed a
exactly.
felony.
Yep. These are super painful. And so they're at the tip of your finger, like the little fat pad that's in the front, the part that you touch everything with.
Yeah.
If that gets infected, it's extremely painful.
Oh, is it?
And it's just like a pocket of infection that needs to be released. You know when you smash your finger and it's just like your heart, that's what it feels like all the time with these.
My finger
So-
is a heartbeat.
You do not not soak these because
Okay.
it's just going to increase pain and swelling, and that's what you don't want.
Dang it. No
So,
soaking.
Again, you're going to be glad that you have contingency medical
Yeah, no
or an
kidding.
antibiotic because you're going to need to start it.
Mhm.
Levaquin, Doxy, Augmentin, any of those skin infection antibiotics. And you're going to do an
Harley
incision.
Quinn?
What's that?
Harley Quinn? Is that what
Harley
you said?
Quinn, yeah. Harley Quinn is a really strong antibiotic.
Yeah.
Did I tell you there's an antibiotic in Japan that they don't sell in the United States called Sword?
Sword?
Who would
Ooh.
not take that all
I'm
the
taking
time?
it for everything.
I get some Sword in
Got
you.
a headache. Give me a sword.
Yeah. I was like, that's an antibiotic right there.
yeah.
So, anyways, these I
What?
won't do it. You're not prepared.
You're not prepared
You
for
want
a
sword in your belly?
You want sword?
Sure, indeed, sword. But so if you have this felon that's the infection on the tip of your finger, you're going to do what's called a fish mouth type of incision. So it looks like a smiley face on the tip of your finger.
Fish mouth.
Super painful though.
Oh.
So we always we do a digital block. So you would numb on both sides, knock out the nerve so that you can actually do this. But
Jeez.
if you can't, this is going to be super painful. So
You ever had to do it?
I've had to do one. Yep.
Yeah.
Had to cut it. And it's even like blocking the finger is super painful.
Yeah.
Like numbing it. And even then there's still like it kills. Like typically you need a narcotic for this.
Ugh.
So antibiotics, don't soak it, open it up, and then you want to keep it open. And so you're gonna soak it after you cut it open so it can just like remove all that. Pretty nasty one.
Gosh.
There is one other way, and this one I've not done, but it sounds pretty intense. You actually do an incision on each side, like at the end of your fingernail, but where it starts to curve. Down below in the fat, you'll actually do an incision on both sides.
Wow.
So that it has this path through, and you're gonna slide gauze through it
Oh,
to keep
good
it open.
Gauze.
Good gauze.
Good gauze, man. That sounds
That's
horrible.
to allow it to stay open and drain while you're on the antibiotics.
Good Lord. That
Yeah.
sounds horrible, dude.
Yeah. Which brings me to the point of I don't know if I've mentioned packing strip gauze. You can get a bottle of it. It's all kind of coiled up in the bottle and sterile, and it comes in like a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, and it can even there's iodoform type that has iodine in it. But that stuff's really nice for infection, like abscess and stuff, because it's smaller and you're going to pack it in the wound.
Wow.
But yeah, this one you would like run it through and leave it open. So
That sounds horrible.
makes sense why it's called a felon.
Yeah.
Because it's like the worst thing that could happen to you.
Dude, like when you're in the doctor's office in the room back there, we got a felon back here.
Yeah. Is the police in there with him?
Nope.
I don't want to go in there.
I ain't going in there.
But yeah, so ingrown nails, paronychia, felon, like finger infections, hand infections, they're pretty serious. So you're definitely going to want to have oral antibiotics on hand.
Oral or never mind.
You don't want
that's
to
great.
do, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
All this is not medical advice, by the way.
Yes.
As always.
Yep.
For infinity, this is not medical advice.
Exactly.
Just
These
forever.
are like worst case scenario. You
Yeah.
have no access to medical care.
Yeah.
How to take care of your stuff. So.
Cam's secretly wanting me to get a felon so he can do that to me. I can
Even
tell.
I would weep if you got one.
It's
gonna hurt so
It's gonna suck, buddy.
I'm so sorry.
Bite my shoulder as I do this.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so yeah.
Anything else, Cam?
No, that's it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I mean,
Have
that's
a
a big
casual
deal.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have casual. Remember, play this podcast at the dinner
Yeah.
table.
What's your favorite thing for Thanksgiving?
I've got several. I really like deviled eggs.
Yeah, those are good. I
They're
like
freaking
deviled
good,
eggs.
and I never get them.
I don't ever eat them.
And so I really look forward to deviled eggs. I mean, just like here's the thing. I like to have a little bit of everything on the bite. I like to have some turkey, some mashed potatoes and gravy, some stuffing, and some cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Like I like to get it all together.
I'm a big mixer
Oh.
during Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, everything.
Like I usually start at one edge of the plate,
Yeah.
grab a little stuffing, pull it across your gravy
Yes.
and mashed potatoes, grab your turkey, and
Yes.
then like take a bite of the roll.
Yeah. Oh,
or
yeah.
just or your roll is the thing I'm pushing it
Yeah.
around with.
But I got to have that cranberry sauce too. I'm
I
all
do too.
about it.
I
I'm
do
all about
too.
it. But yeah, it's just like a turkey, or it's like a Thanksgiving soup.
It's funny. I like the cranberry. I'll usually like slice and eat with turkey, but I don't mix it with all the other stuff.
I
as
see.
much.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing?
Man, I don't know. I honestly think it's just the turkey.
The turkey.
Just the turkey.
Yeah.
You just don't eat turkey like that.
You don't have it very often.
I always like you were saying, I think it's important. It's so stupid we're talking about this. But like people are like, oh, you don't need a turkey, you eat ham. And
No.
like you were saying,
Yeah.
it's fine if you want to do that. There has to be turkey somewhere.
You have to have
Yeah,
turkey.
the Pilgrims had it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
need to have it.
Yeah, it's not Thanksgiving without turkey
Yeah.
and stuffing and
I'm
mashed
excited.
potatoes.
The stuffing's another thing I don't eat hardly ever.
No, not very
so
often.
I really like it.
The problem is, like, some people, when they make their stuffing, it's not great.
No,
It's
it's
not like
pure
homemade-
onions and just a little bit of bread.
You just give me that stovetop if you
Me
have
too.
like.
I
So
freaking love the stovetop.
My mom makes great stuffing,
Yeah,
like
my mom does
homemade
too.
stuffing. But there's some other people in the family not so great.
Yeah,
And so like
you do get a weird variety there. that
same
you're
thing
like, this
with
sucks.
deviled eggs. I don't know how you screw up a deviled egg, but
Some
I had
people's like pure sugar.
it just doesn't even taste like, what is this? This is
I don't know.
garbage.
I agree.
I want my mom's deviled eggs.
I think I'm just partial to all the things. My
That
mom
might be
makes.
the case, yeah. But I don't know. And then pie afterwards. What's your favorite pie?
Yeah, it used to be blueberry, but it's cherry now.
Blueberry.
Yeah,
That cherry pie we had the other day was just delicious.
it was very good.
At my house. So I did request a cherry pie.
I don't know why. I love cherry pie, and for some reason, it doesn't get made very much.
doesn't,
It's
no.
always like there's 17 pumpkin pies
And I don't even like pumpkin
and banana
pie.
cream.
I'll eat a banana cream.
I'll eat both of them, but I just don't
Chocolate
like-
cream is probably my
Really?
favorite. I love
Yeah,
chocolate
I
cream
don't,
pie.
That one I usually don't eat.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like a
Yeah,
silk.
I like
chocolate.
the gelatinous ones.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like blueberry,
Blueberry.
or peach or cherry. Cherry's my favorite.
blueberry.
I used to love it. I don't know. It's not my thing anymore.
I don't think I can't remember the last time I had blueberry pie.
All I know is if it gets on a shirt or something,
Oh, yeah.
burn it.
There forever.
There's no way
You're not getting it off.
that purple stain forever.
No.
But cherry's my favorite.
And then that like fancy drink you always have. That I don't know if your family did that, but we always
It's like a mix of like
mix like
squirt
the cranberry sauce and 7-Up or cranberry sauce. Shit, yeah, it's like it's like a shake. No, cranberry juice, like cranberry raspberry juice with like Sprite.
Yeah, I love the
Oh,
mix
so good.
of soda in with
Yeah.
like regular juice, and usually they have all these fruits floating in
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah, we have
Yeah,
oranges,
flies, and like dirt.
yeah. Disease. You know, just
Yeah.
like the first Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Just get a little bit
Minus
of
the Sprite.
minus the Sprite. They probably didn't have Sprite. I Or cranberry raspberry juice.
No,
It's like
they
100%
missed
sugar.
out.
Yeah. Anyways, not
It was probably just corn
Mm-hmm.
and turkey.
corn and turkey. Yeah. That's probably all it was.
Potatoes, yeah.
Maybe not even, they probably didn't even
I
have
don't know, man. It's hard to say what's the best thing because it's like the mix that makes it the best.
Yeah.
like it can't be just the turkey, just the mashed potatoes. Just it's like I have to have the blend.
the blend of it all.
Probably
Yeah.
the best thing about it all is like you're eating that for like 4 days.
A turkey sandwich with just
Just a
bread,
roll and
mayo.
turkey?
I gotta have some mayo.
Really? Yeah,
it gets
I don't
too
put
dry.
anything. Mine is just like butter.
Okay, I
Turkey
like that. That
and
sounds
a
great.
roll.
Like I get weird with it. So I do the roll, some mayo, cranberry sauce, and turkey.
That would be good. I'd
It's
eat that.
delicious.
I'd eat that.
Try that.
Okay,
this
I will. I'll
Thanksgiving.
do it.
So we used to our big thing when I was growing up. We'd always go rabbit hunting the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I
that was our
remember
big thing. Every single year. In one of my old grandmas from Grandpa George. She used to make Thanksgiving sandwiches, and it was just like everything was on the sandwich.
Oh,
if we
really?
had it for Thanksgiving, it was on the sandwich. It was like crazy. You never knew what you were going to get in that sandwich. Bones, sometimes like a cranberry sauce packaging or something, like it was just
Like
like
the whole table just gets pushed into like a
Really?
sandwich maker.
yeah, it's just like a big sandwich, and then you
That's
never knew
awesome.
what you were going to get in yours.
One of the things my mom used to do would take the leftover turkey and make chicken noodle soup with it.
Oh yeah,
She just throw
but
the
turkey noodle soup.
Yeah, it was super good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just
my
the
favorite
sandwich.
holiday.
The sam-
The
Is it
best
really?
holiday. Yeah.
Better than Christmas, huh?
Yep. Better than Christmas.
Wow.
It's just like I don't know, just the time of year, the weather, like everybody's kind of together.
Sure.
And you eat a delicious meal.
It's probably my third favorite holiday.
Which is the second favorite?
Halloween.
Well, Halloween's probably my second.
Halloween's
Christmas
awesome.
has gone down.
Really? I like Christmas.
I loved Christmas when I
Yeah.
was young. Now it just seems like it's a burden.
Sometimes I get it. Like I'll feel like, oh, you get that like Christmas spirit for a minute. Like
Yeah.
the song
I
comes
do
on.
love it for my kids, but I don't
Yeah.
like for me and for adults. And like when they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't want anything." Like,
Yeah, so that part
I get
sucks.
annoying about
That part sucks, but I just like the Christmas vibe. So
Yeah, for sure.
I love Christmas movies. Like
I think, well, obviously, it's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. They're all in that time frame.
Yes,
That's the best
yeah.
of the year.
But like me and my kids, we have a Christmas movie list, a shared list on the phone, and so then we all pick one for that night, and then we pull it out of a hat which one we're gonna watch.
Oh, that's a
Because
great
we
idea.
have like 20 movies that we watch every year,
Look at all
so
these ideas.
we're like 5 movies in already.
Idea factory over at your
Oh,
house.
yeah, I know. It's just like never ends, right? But like that's my favorite thing is like watching those holiday movies.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like I love Halloween movies and I love Christmas movies.
Typically, the holiday movies are like all the Hallmark ones.
yeah. See,
And
I
I'm
don't,
like, I hate this crap,
No.
and then I get kind of sucked into it. a little
I
bit.
don't do those really. It's more like Christmas Vacation.
Oh, for sure.
Home
Yeah.
Alone.
I usually Elf is
Scrooge,
even part of that now.
Elf, yeah, like all those.
That is a great part. I'd
Yeah.
say mine's like Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, and then I guess there's
4th of
other-
July.
I guess there's a 4th of July is great.
I love 4th of July.
Mhm.
I used to like it more.
Me too.
It's gone downhill a bit these days.
Well, it pisses me off more
Does it?
than like
Oh, yeah.
not because
The
like I
noise.
love the fireworks, but it's
Yeah.
like I said,
Too
2 in the
much.
morning they're like, I'm gonna go shoot off fireworks.
Whoa, it's time to do another bottle rocket. Super
I can't
screamer.
wait.
Yeah, super screamer all night long. You know what I mean?
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate you. Make sure you're subscribed. Happy Thanksgiving.